You know, I missed my live stream over the weekend and I thought I would try something a little bit different. I'm going to call this show Lag Recap, a quick sync of all the gaming news that you need to know. The top news that we need to start talking about is, of course, the fact that Rockstar Games had to delay Grand Theft Auto 6. This was the big news that everybody was talking about last week. They posted the following. Hi, everyone. Grand Theft Auto 6 will now release on Thursday, November 19th, 2026. We are sorry for adding additional time to what we realize has been a long wait, but these extra months will allow us to finish the game with the level of polish you have come to expect and deserve. Now, unfortunately, the new release date is quite a ways off. Originally, they had said it would be releasing in May. Now it is releasing in November, which means you are going to have to delay, or you're going to have to wait a little bit longer than you might have originally expected to play this game. They said the Grand Theft Auto 6 delay is going to allow them extra months to finish the game with the level of polish you have come to expect and deserve. However, there's another story looming while all of this is happening. There have been protests at Rockstar Games. Here's what Dexerto reports. Protests erupt at Rockstar Game offices accusing GTA 6 developers of union busting. Here's what they say, and there are posts of this actually happening. Posts have broken out outside Rockstar North's Edinburgh studio and Take-Two Interactive's London headquarters as demonstrators accuse the company of union busting, following the dismissal of dozens of staff members. I was dismissed without warning, without evidence, and without a chance to speak for myself, all because I talked with colleagues in a private union chat. We weren't leaking anything or trying to harm the company, said one former employee. We were supporting each other, trying to understand our workplace and make it better. To lose my job for that feels deeply unfair. No one should be punished for being a part of a union or for speaking honestly about their hard work. Now, you might be wondering if Rockstar had anything to say about the matter. Well, Rockstar is sticking to their story. Rockstar says the employees it fired were leaking information, but it's not going to escape union busting accusations that easily. This comes from the PC Gamer report. Grand Theft Auto developer Rockstar Games was accused of union busting last week after it fired a group of more than 30 employees who belonged to a Discord server related to labor organizing. Now, the developer says the employees were fired for violating company policy by sharing confidential information in a public forum. Rockstar and parent company Take-Two did not immediately explain the cause of the firings after the news broke last week, initially saying only that the employees were guilty of gross misconduct. In a statement sent to Bloomberg this week, the developers elaborated, saying that the workers had been distributing and discussing confidential information in a public forum, and that the firings were in no way related to people's right to join a union or engage in union activities. That IWGB, however, says that the only Rockstar outsiders the employees were speaking to were labor organizers. The union called the firings one of the most blatant and ruthless acts of union busting in the history of the games industry in a statement last week. Now, regardless how you feel about this, Rockstar does have some explaining to do, so to speak. At least they will with the union lawyers, who I imagine will be chasing after this. There was one person, Kiwi Talks, he gets to interview a lot of people. He wanted to clarify a few of the details here. I want to clarify a few things regarding GTA 6 since a lot of BS is circulating around. The union layoffs in the UK and the delay are not related. There are 6,000 plus employees working at Rockstar. You aren't delaying a game over 35 people getting laid off. That's not how these things work. Not to mention Rockstar devs were telling me about a delay well before the union layoffs. Rockstar is extremely compartmentalized. A huge number of staff don't even know what's in a lot of the game because they are only exposed to a specific chunk of work that they are assigned. This is done because the game is so large in scope and also for security reasons. 3. I've seen apparently some insider saying it's being delayed till 2027 and the game is in a messy state. I highly doubt this, and no one I have spoken to has corroborated it. The game is content complete. All the work from here on out is optimizing the hell out of it and making sure all the systems work to prevent a cyberpunk scenario. Cyberpunk did actually respond to one of the tweets about a delay, saying no more delays, sort of echoing what is being said here. Leaks from a former Rockstar employee has said that morale is low, and no doubt that is the case at Edinburgh, but that doesn't translate to all of Rockstar. Bangalore, for example, operates completely differently and has a different culture to Edinburgh. So a lot of people have been sort of speculating, what does this mean for Rockstar? What does this mean for the future of Rockstar Games and Grand Theft Auto? And long story short, we don't really know the answer to that question. Time is going to tell. Whatever it ends up being, Rockstar is not looking good in all this. Rockstar accused of ruthless firing ahead of GTA 6, cutting over 30 employees tied to dev union. Take-Two claims gross misconduct. Labor group says we won't back down. Bloomberg reports the impacted employees were all either current union members or planning to organize a union at Rockstar, and they were members of the same private Discord group dedicated to the topic. Reacting to the news on Twitter, IWGB writes, "This is the most ruthless act of union busting in the history of the UK games industry. Yesterday, Rockstar Games fired over 30 employees for union activity. The organization continues, we won't back down and we're not scared. We will fight for every member to be reinstated." In a statement to Bloomberg, reporter Jason Schreier, IWGB president Alex Marshall, categorizes Rockstar's firings as flagrant contempt for the law and for the lives of the workers who bring in their billions is a result. Got disconnected on TikTok Live for some reason. Anyway. We strive to make the world's best entertainment properties. Where was I? Flagrant contempt for the law and for the lives of workers who bring in their billions is an insult to their fans and the global industry. Now, an anonymous Rockstar sent this message to Ben saying the following. An anonymous Rockstar, Ben says, employee has made a post on GTA forums with the ongoing situation at Rockstar. This has been verified by staff. Rockstar employee of many years here. These colleagues of mine are hard workers who have spent many years at Rockstar in critical roles with colleagues who have been at Rockstar for more than 18 years, and none of them have ever had a disciplinary in that time. These are not easily replaced and will certainly affect us all. And this is where a lot of the questioning and people wondering if this is more serious or less serious, like what is going on here. Everybody's trying to figure it out and figure out what is actually going on with this current situation. So continuing on, this all comes at about the time when Take-Two does their earnings report. Now, what I like to do is I look at the new report and I compare it to the old report. Now, if you just take their previous quarter from August 2025 and compare it to November 2025, you do get a few interesting tidbits. You find out that GTA 5 from August to November has sold 5 million additional units. It went from 2,015 million units to 220 million units. Yes, if you're looking at this on video, I accidentally said 2015. It's 2,215 million units to 220 million units. That is an increase of 5 million in just a few months. I thought for sure everybody had Grand Theft Auto 5 by now. Apparently not. Apparently a few more people out there needed it. Red Dead Redemption 2 sold 2 million more units, increasing on their slideshow from 104 to 106 million. And the Borderlands franchise, remember Borderlands 4 came out just recently, sold 5 million more units worldwide. Unclear if that's all Borderlands 4 or if some of it's Borderlands 3, as all sales are included. But what a massive win for Rockstar, for Take-Two anyway, as Rockstar is causing them a little bit of commotion within the union space. That was sort of a one-off for Take-Two. For earnings, we are going to get PlayStation's earnings next week, and I am very excited to see how PlayStation is faring. I think it will be very interesting to see how they are doing, and I will keep you updated on that. Now, we're going to move over to Xbox news. Real quick, I'm probably going to edit this part out when I do the VOD, but if you are watching on TikTok, just like the video or whatever it is that you're supposed to do. I do greatly appreciate you. The last VOD ended up getting pulled offline, so I'm giving this another attempt to see how it goes. They said I was violating community guidelines, probably because I played a song that I have rights to, but my channel's not whitelisted. Anyway, appreciate the heck out of y'all for hanging out. I'm trying out TikTok streaming, seeing how it goes. So I do hope that you do like this style of content, and hopefully this one doesn't get yanked down. Now on to Xbox news. The big news coming from Microsoft is that Xbox is ending content updates for Halo Infinite. Operation Infinite may be the last major update currently planned for Halo Infinite, but we're fully committed to supporting players with exciting challenges, ranked rewards, and community events throughout next year and beyond. Well, why is all of this happening? Well, they clarified in the blog post it's because they have multiple Halo games in the works currently. Let's read specifically what they said. Operation Infinite update preview. They said, with multiple Halo titles in development, we'll need our whole team's combined focus to deliver new experiences with the same passion and care that our community has given us. While we remain committed to supporting Halo Infinite on the road ahead, Operation Infinite is the last major content update currently planned. Now, it makes sense. I do think Halo Infinite, it's a largely console-focused game. I have a ton of time in Halo Infinite. I think I've played the game for 300, 400 hours according to my Steam time. Got a lot of time in this game, had a blast. You know, I even played ranked for a bit when it came out, but even I fell off. As a fan of the game, I fell off. It didn't have that thing that keeps people coming back and keeps people hooked and glued to their screen, and that is, it's unfortunate, right? They did highlight a few of the key things that you're going to get in the next few months. Operation Infinite's exchange drop will debut over 200 never-before-released armor pieces, armor attachments, coatings, charms, visors, and other Spartan necessities. Obviously, you're going to be able to earn a ton of stuff. And of course, they did go on to thank a lot of people. They said, Halo Infinite roadmap. Operation Infinite may be the last major update currently planned for Halo Infinite, but we're fully committed to supporting players with exciting challenges, ranked rewards, and community events throughout the next year and beyond. They highlighted challenges, ranked seasons, and Halo at DreamHack, so you can visit them there. And they did have a thank you note to close out the blog post. They said, thank you from Halo Studios. As the Halo Studios team shifts to focus to in-development projects such as Halo Campaign Evolved, we'd like to thank our Halo Infinite players for years of steadfast support. Now, on that note, just real quick on Halo Campaign Evolved, I do want to highlight that Halo Campaign Evolved is actually what seems to be the start of a trilogy of games that will be released on the PlayStation platform. A lot of people have been hypothesizing that Halo Campaign Evolved is going to be part one of a multiple part series where more and more games end up coming to the Halo, from Halo and Halo Studios over to the PlayStation 5, meaning everybody's going to get to play the game at some point. I'm all for that. Absolutely love the idea of more people getting to play Halo on the PlayStation platform. I do hope that some of these multiplayer game rumors are to be believed, and we will see what happens with that. But hopefully it's not just the campaigns being worked on, but also some multiplayer stuff. It's been a legendary run of seasons, events, fractures, and operations with plenty of maps, modes, sandbox additions, Forge tool upgrades, and incredible memories along the way. None of those milestones would have been possible without the guidance and enthusiasm of our community. Between the players lobbing stickies in matchmaking, the pros tearing up the ranked leaderboards, and the Forgers expanding Halo's multiplayer mythos with remarkable experiences, each and every Halo fan has helped to create this unforgettable moment. Thanks to your support, Halo Infinite features nearly endless ways to have fun, share Forge creations, and lay a Spartan smackdown on your friends. Your excitement is the lodestar for our every effort. Whether you're a longtime player, a recently returned Spartan, or a brand new ally, we're grateful to have you on our fire team. As we look ahead, this is the important part. A lot of misspeaking today. Sorry. Your feedback will continue to help us refine our goals in hopes of exceeding expectations and delivering the best Halo experiences possible. Throughout our day, we look to your suggestions, your art, and even your memes as constant reminders of our dual commitment to faithfully stewarding Halo's legacy and forging its future. Since formally announcing Halo Campaign Evolved in October, we've been floored by the response from both longtime fans and Halo newcomers. We're humbled by the trust you've placed in us, and we can't wait to introduce new players to the iconic story of Halo Combat Evolved for the first time in 2026. Well, I am very glad that they were floored by the response. I don't really know what to think about it. I got to react to the trailer. Didn't get to play it yet, so I will hold my opinions until then. But visually, it's looking really good. I've heard mixed takes on the gameplay. Obviously, it still needs some performance work, but I am excited about a remade Halo campaign. They also highlighted as the 25th anniversary of Halo Combat Evolved approaches, we look forward to celebrating Halo's universe, community, and enduring legacy with you all next year. If you missed the chance to join us for this year's Halo World Championship, don't miss out on Halo Fest in December 2026. The event begins with an orchestral performance of iconic Halo music in concert for one night only, followed by a 2-day convention celebrating Halo's legacy, story, and unrivaled community. We hope to see you there. Halo Fest tickets go on sale December 10th, 2025 at halofest.com. So that was the big Xbox story. I suppose we could also talk about how Phil Spencer and BlizzCon, another focused event around an Xbox/Activision property. BlizzCon is always special, Phil Spencer posted. Thrilled to see players come together and celebrate Blizzard's Worlds. Grab your tickets today. Long story short, tickets went on sale November 7th for BlizzCon. We're back in Anaheim, California, September 12th to 13th, 2026. Are you in? For more details and pass info, the link is there. blizz.ly/40u0p3m. Capital P on that. And that is it. So that is it for the main Xbox headline. I wanted to jump to a general thing and just ask y'all a semi-serious question. A semi-serious question for everybody watching or just hanging out. Why aren't you buying more video games? U.S. gamers aren't buying video games anymore, new study reveals. This is according to Vice.com. Long story short, it would seem that most players only buy 2 games or fewer per year. An interesting study from the marketing research firm Circana recently revealed that gaming habits in the U.S. are drastically shifting in 2025. The results were revealed by prolific games industry expert Matt Piscatella in an October 2nd post on Blue Sky. Now, if you think about this for a little bit, there's a few reasons why I think this is happening. Part one, it's happening because you can get access to so many free games. Path of Exile 1, completely free. Fortnite, completely free. Roblox, the big game that all the kids are playing these days. I've never touched Roblox, but that is apparently the main thing that kids are playing these days. A ton of people are playing that right now. So the question is, why buy a game when you can get so many of them for free? And I do think that is a question a lot of people are going to have to contend with. People, meaning executives in the video game industry, they're going to have to figure out how to get the rest of us on board with their big tentpole releases. And so far, they haven't been able to do that as much as they would like. Obviously, they like unlimited money, and they've only gotten most of the money. So they need to somehow figure out how to land on that specifically. Bigger news for me as a huge Mass Effect fan, N7 Day kicked off on November 7th, 2025. N7, November 7th. Anyway, here's what the blog post reads. Happy N7 Day, everyone. You guessed it. I come to you with another blog, but each year that I write these, they are important moments of reflection for me. I get to pause and think about how truly lucky we are to have Mass Effect and how thankful we are for the community and support we get. We've been through a lot together and we appreciate you. Like you, we've heard the rumors lately. You've made it clear you care deeply about what's next, so let's start by setting the record straight. The next Mass Effect game is in development. Big win for players like me who, you know what, I wasn't a huge fan of Andromeda, but I am always excited to see what the BioWare team ends up bringing, for better or for worse. I have a feeling this one's going to be for the better. The truth is the last few years, is in development. Here's where we are. And EA and BioWare remain committed to telling more stories in this universe. The truth is, the last few years have been an incredibly busy time at BioWare, but currently the team is heads down and focused exclusively on Mass Effect. We have a lot of universe to cover, lots of features to build, and lots of romances to figure out. We're excited by what we're building, and we promise you, when we're ready, it'll be a lot of fun to show. Until then, thank you for your patience. This letter K and a few of the letters, as you may notice in this blog post, are a little bit off. We'll get to that in a second. Thank you for your patience because y'all are thirsty, there's another R, for news, and I see you looking for secret meaning in my tweets. Okay, sometimes they have secret meaning. Beyond the next game, there's more to get excited about. I haven't talked about it much, but you might have heard a little something about a TV series. We've been partnering closely with Amazon on it, and we're really excited with what the talented team over there is coming up with. The writer's room is going strong, and we've got a lot figured out about how it fits within the Mass Effect canon and where it sits in respect to the new game. The show will explore a brand new story within the universe's timeline and will be set after the original trilogy. It won't be a retread of Commander Shepard's story because after all, that's your story, isn't it? Keep an eye on your social channels for more celebrations today, including some awesome new Mass Effect gear, free crossover items appearing in Skate and Apex Legends, and more. Happy N7 Day. Mike Gamble, executive producer, Mass Effect. PS disclaimer, there is no secret game information to be gleaned by anything I'm saying today. I promise. He's lying because the Mass Effect community came through and they found all the secret links, everybody. N7 Day 2025. This is an ongoing document that they created. It says, Mike Gamble posted a blog post confirming that BioWare is fully focused on the development of the next Mass Effect. The postscript also claimed that there was no secret game information in the post. Individual letters in the post, however, were italicized, forming the clue URL Krogan N7. A later tweet from the Mass Effect account provided the next clue in the cipher, and it was a link. And then solved, it came out to this image. Now, as you can see, this image is of Krogans going to battle. The concept art depicts a group of Krogans in the midst of rubble firing at an on-scene target with rifles. A character with one seemingly scarred blind eye is the focus of the image, firing a pistol. The Krogans seem to be wearing standardized armor, as you can see, and helmets. Interesting. Tomka, a charging Varen, and a Krogan yielding a melee weapon can be seen in the background. You can sort of see a melee weapon here and some other hints. Very interesting. The weapons resemble Argus assault rifles and the Executioner pistol from Mass Effect 3. Interesting stuff. What else do we got here? They are likely fighting other Krogan. Mike Gamble confirmed that the image takes place in the future. This precludes the Krogan rebellions, which started circa 700 CE. All of the prior N7 Day reveals connect. So we hear about the Krogans. You remember we saw some artwork from other locations in the past. This is a wonderful one-stop article. You saw this character. We saw some short animations where we saw a character walking in Unreal Engine, and we did see hints about finding Commander Shepard and just a lot of interesting stuff about how these could all potentially connect. Now, time to move on over to PlayStation news. New symbols will be added soon, website and tool, but here are some nice new features from PlayStation. Yes, some are old and some are others are on scene. I can't read today, I apologize. A kind of echo mode, PS5/PC games, and cross-buy. These two icons sort of sent the internet on storm. Well, I can tell you right now, I actually went out of my way to go and try and find out if, in fact, these are legitimate, and it turns out they are. All of those icons, you can go to my profile. I actually was able to copy and paste them, which means PlayStation actually has the code to display these built into the PlayStation system. You can do this with trophies and some of the other items. So I did find that really interesting. And yeah, the idea of PlayStation actually activating PS5/PC cross-buy, like those two icons together, are what I'm really latching onto, because if that is true, I think that would be a massive, massive win for PlayStation. Speaking of massive wins, Insomniac can't stop winning. Insomniac Games will keep making Marvel exclusives for PlayStation 5 and PS6 after Wolverine. Marvel has confirmed that Insomniac Games will keep creating exclusive superhero titles for PlayStation after Wolverine releases in 2026. I'm already super stoked about Wolverine. You've already sold me. So it is interesting to hear that they've had this great symbiotic relationship for so long. And here's one of the quotes actually from this article. As is usually the case, once we complete a project together, they too become Marvel. Marvel's Wolverine with our dear friends at Insomniac Games is perhaps the epitome of this philosophy. We have been working together for more than a decade and developed such a shorthand across multiple Marvel Spider-Man games. However, the most important part of the interview was Mente's statement on what Insomniac Games will do in the future. And long story short, they're going to keep making video games. It was obvious to everyone on our team that Insomniac Games was the perfect choice for Wolverine. It was our shared culture and values that brought us together, and we're so proud to continue collaborating for many years to come. Based on his comments, it certainly appears that Insomniac Games will continue making Marvel titles after the release of Marvel's Wolverine on PS5 in 2026. And they really seem to, just overall, if you read the whole article, I'll link to it in the description, it really seems like they have sort of a symbiotic relationship with each other, and they really gelled well together. And I suppose I'll move this story up a little bit because we're going to go to Nintendo next. But speaking of other Marvel properties that are being worked on right now, we can see that Marvel 1943 Rise of the Hydra, that has been delayed for a second time. Now, it's been delayed out of 2026. So, well, out of early 2026. All they specifically said was that Marvel 1943, this is the really cool Unreal Engine, real life character looking thing. Rise of the Hydra has been delayed for a second time and is now expected to launch beyond early 2026. In a statement on social media, Skydance Games said that to fully realize its vision for the game, its release window needed to be moved. Look, long story short, I trust Amy Hennig, who is working on this project. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and I can't wait to play more. And you know who else I trust to make a lot of money? Nintendo. Nintendo news is coming up right now. Long story short, Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa says Switch 2's start has far exceeded expectations. So often in the news world, you actually learn about games that just can't cut it. Well, this is one that is just blowing it out of the park. They're blowing it out of the water, everybody. It is just going crazy. The start of Switch 2 has far exceeded our initial expectations. I want each and every customer to have the opportunity to purchase one, and we aim to exceed our current sales plan. There are regional differences, but overseas consoles are now available in stores in Japan. The situation is improving, though it's still not at a point where customers can buy one anytime. Production is not the bottleneck. Switch 2 has had an exceptionally strong start, even compared with past gaming consoles. NBC is even getting in on the action. Nintendo hikes Switch 2 sales forecast to 19 million units as flagship console momentum grows. Nintendo is riding a wave of momentum after launching its latest console called the Switch 2 in June. The Japanese gaming giant said it now expects to sell 19 million units of Switch in the fiscal year ending March 2026 versus a previous forecast of 15 million units. Revenue was up 90% year on year, while profit rose more than 270%. Huge wins for Nintendo. This, of course, comes from their earnings call. Now, one thing to note. You have to remember, Nintendo hasn't really been doing anything in the console space for a long time. Nintendo had the Switch 1. This is their big new play. So the Switch 2 taking off and selling like hotcakes, not a big surprise, especially given the fact that most people who were in that ecosystem are ready for more. Now, this comes from their latest financial results, and if you actually dive in, there's a ton more in here. I might have to make a whole separate video, but the big takeaway that people were latching onto was that Nintendo is seeing huge profitability, and they are going to continue to keep winning in the Nintendo space. And a small footnote on that, Nintendo actually did make an app for iOS and Android. They made the Nintendo Store app so you can more easily buy Nintendo games and spend money on Nintendo related products. It's a free store app that makes it easy to browse and buy Nintendo systems, accessories, games, and merchandise. Are they going to get it on the mobile space? Who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I'm going to jump to a few of the more positive stories, and we do have one sort of let's get to the bad news for Nintendo, and then we have some good movie news about Nintendo real quick. U.S. Patent Office orders re-examination of Nintendo's character summoning Pokemon patent. Long story short, Nintendo sued Palworld. They retroactively made some patents, and they're not getting away with it, which is a good thing for video games of all kinds. U.S. Patent Office orders re-examination of Nintendo's character summoning Pokemon patent. A few months back, they had secured a rather ambiguous patent for a mechanic it called summoning a character and letting it fight another. While a reading of the patent without context would make you think it's too vague to even apply to anything, the ongoing legal battle between Nintendo and Palworld developer Pocket Pair demonstrates that it was likely filed to bolster Nintendo's legal defense. As a new report from Games Fray explains, however, that defense may have backfired on the big N. That report is from Nintendo Wire, and wow, that is absolutely crazy. So, long story short, they've been trying to copyright all of these mechanics in video games, and 2 of their patents have now been rejected, meaning they might have to go back to the drawing table. So bad news for Nintendo, good news for literally any other game that wants to do anything similar or do something interesting. And in the movie space, some happier Nintendo news. Live action Zelda movie from Sony and Nintendo. It's now filming, apparently. It's filming in New Zealand. Production is taking place in Wellington, New Zealand. It's just the latest large-scale fantasy movie to be filmed there, following The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and The Chronicles of Narnia. And as announced previously, Bo Bragazin is playing Zelda with Benjamin Evan Ainsworth cast as Link. And this is from GameSpot.com. But additionally, Nintendo posted there's a new Super Mario Galaxy movie. Super Mario Galaxy is a very beloved game from Nintendo. Super Mario Galaxy, one of the best Mario games ever made. They said, join us Wednesday, November 12th at 6 a.m. PT for the Nintendo Direct, featuring the world premiere of the Super Mario Galaxy movie official trailer. Please note that no game information will be included in this presentation. And they link out to where you can find more from the Nintendo presentation. I'm very excited about this. I absolutely love Super Mario Galaxy, and obviously it's live in 37 hours here, according to the post. This is the actual link. And yeah, we're going to find out more about Super Mario Galaxy in the very near future. I, for one, cannot wait. What have we got here? We got 2 more stories to go. This is sort of a random one, a negative one, unfortunately. Square Enix announced more layoffs as part of US and Europe restructuring. This comes from Video Games Chronicle, posted by Andy Robinson. Nearly all areas of Square Enix's Western business affected by latest cuts, it tells staff. Square Enix announced layoffs across nearly all areas of its Western business in an all-hands meeting on Thursday, VGC understands. In a video call, staff outside of its home country of Japan, including those based in Europe and America, Square Enix president Takashi Kiru said the company was implementing overseas structural reform to create a more lean and agile business abroad. Square Enix will be implementing a fundamental restructuring of the overseas publishing organization, Kiru said. Details of the restructure will be shared at a later date, staff were told. However, it confirmed rules would be cut and employees left would be required to spend more time working in the office. So they're implementing RTO, return to office, and they are trying to get more people actually going ahead and getting involved with local production, like local in-office, collaborating together and doing what they need to do to get stuff done. Unfortunately, that has resulted in sweeping layoffs. A lot of people have posted about that, and time will tell what this means for overall Square Enix games, but not great. Want to give a big shout out to IGN. IGN has a great article about the Dante's Purgatorio, which was a canceled sequel to EA's Dante's Inferno. Dante's Inferno back in the day, it was basically a ripoff of God of War, but they kind of did their own thing with the story. They dealt with Dante's Inferno, which deals with the different circles of hell, right? And it's like heaven and hell, and they had a lot of fun with it. There was a sequel planned, but apparently it didn't sell well enough. And you can go over to IGN.com right now and check out all of the different articles. And while I'm giving people shout outs, I do want to give out a shout out to Saint Slayer Spear of Sacrilege. The team at Lilymo Games, Colin Moriarty, former IGNer, released this game. I made a video on my YouTube channel about it. YouTube.com/@Destinel if you want to check out my YouTube content to see what I'm talking about there. Yeah, Lilymo Games released a demo for this. I played it. It's pretty fun. I think they could work on the input timing, but beyond that, it's really, really good, really, really solid. They're trying to mimic that whole, what do you call it, the whole NES vibe, right? And that is your gaming news for this week. This is the first edition of Lag that I have recorded because I'm getting older and I got kids and I have to balance all of that. So I hope you appreciated the time to collect all these and bring it to you. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell if you like my content. Do the equivalent on TikTok if you're watching there. This is really just an experiment to stream the TikTok. Thank you so much to the members, Chris, Freddy, Philaroni, Aries, EMS. If you want to support, obviously hit that subscribe button, watch the content. Thank you so much. That is like the best thing you could do. But if you want to take it a level up, you can go to patreon.com/SaveStatePlus or become a member on YouTube. I'm going to get out of here, but before I go, be sure to check out some of my other content here on the channel. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments. Like if you liked it, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.